Bachchan Saab is, every time when I come in front of him, he looks at me and says, ये या तो weird है या तो ये बहुत rude है.
Talking about gutsy, both of you are a gutsy yaar. Who has more controversies in their life of being gutsy? Is it you or him?
I think I don't really have controversies. I'm perceived as a person who's, every interview I say bold on it. I'm like feeling like,
I used to be called bold also at that time. Bold and beautiful, bold and wild. By just being honest, it doesn't mean you become bold and wild. As long as we are not hypocrites about what we are. That is what is about him as well. He's true. What you see is what you get. And the same thing with me, I have no hidden agenda. He has no hidden agenda. We are open about our lives. I think that is also what hit off between us right from the beginning as people. We saw each other as people, what we were, what we are. And there's been no lies, there's been no games, there's been no manipulations. Even with Honor, when you work with him, this is it. This is what you see, what you get. I think that is what is different for people to accept because they're so used to meeting and dealing with people who've got manipulations or they have a facade or they're superficial. Then they can't handle with someone who comes out there and says, listen, I'm honest like this. This is my life. It's an open book. Now I have nothing to hide. So people can't handle it. Then they start thinking you're so bold and you're so wild.
No, but I'll tell you one thing. Like she said, now finally people have started becoming honest. Pehle everyone had this two-faced attitude, game face on, whereas you and a few other ladies like even I would say Manisha, Koirala and all of them had a really upfront approach. This is what we are. But in this day and age, you've experienced this the most, which is the Twitter trolling that happens. Somewhere do you get scared to express or you saying, screw everything else, I'm going to do it?
Not at all. Because I think, as far as you talk, if you speak about Twitter, I think honestly Twitter has been politically hijacked. It is so politically polarizing right now that it is very difficult to actually stand by a neutral line. There are these different party, kind of paid off trolls which are around, or people with, clear-cut political affiliations. It's so obvious that, someone is dating someone from that party or someone is married to someone who's from that party. So it's so clear that these women or this cabal is so politically affiliated. Any other, ideas or any other thing, if you don't follow their narrative, that means you're not with them. So you're either with them or you're with us. But
also forget political parties. One simple tweet of yours on wearing a sari created such a bawal, yaar.
That was because I think people were waiting. There's this typical group of people who were waiting to jump on me, to try and twist my words, to make it assume to what they thought I meant. Not seeing the background, not seeing the thread of the tweets where it came from. You see, they're waiting to just pick up one line and create something around it and just bash you. They're just waiting to bash you, whatever you say. So that is why I say that it's been politically hijacked.
But you feel sometimes, yaar, chhod do yaar, ab main ye sab express nahi karungi. You're saying, bring it on.
No, why not? I'm a citizen of this country and I have every right to talk about this country as well, because what happens in this country today is also going to affect how my children are going to lead their lives ahead. So if we don't all start speaking up, who will?
In fact, this whole tag of you being a man-hater, I can't believe it, yaar. Whenever she meets me, so...
I mean, I'm hearing all different things now. Suddenly I'm a man-hater, now suddenly I'm this. I'm like, okay, fine.
Come on, man. Where she's so much of love and affection to both the men here, yeah. So what if it's brotherly love? But it is love, yeah. But you've done path-breaking cinema. I know you've done it because of ideologies, you've done it because of belief. My brother Nikhil, 2005, that was very gutsy to do in those days. You were ahead of your times. Do you feel in 2017, if you had done it, it would have been even more difficult?
I feel sometimes yes, because my brother Nikhil in 2005 got a U certificate without cuts. I don't know.
Belagzi, Zindabad.
I feel that, it's not like what would be wrong, and I sincerely believe in it. It's not the person. It's what is the problem is, we always try to shift it to the person. The problem is that entire outline guidelines that's there in the sense of...
I've been saying the same thing. During Matra also I said this.
It's easy to change a person. But
you can't do a witch hunt on one person, because
that guideline needs to be changed.
Yeah, we need to change with the times that we're living in. We can't keep following guidelines which were made 60 years ago. Yeah.
Where there was
it's not at all relevant today.
The web space was not there. The internet space. I mean, today, like the other day, it was really funny. This whole controversy about the word intercourse. That UA certificate is basically, we need it primarily for television, which is a big, this does not make sense that only films are subjected to this, kind of scrutiny, because I am sitting here and I'm saying intercourse, no one cares, right? So what is it? Why is films being always targeted when we are paying such huge amount of tax now, especially with GTS, even higher, GST, sorry, even higher amount of tax? They should be kinder to us.
But this is every man's fantasy. When I saw this film, I was like, wow, younger man, older woman, Satke Java, really, man. Honest to God, that is such a fantasy world for all of us, yeah. Raveena, when you end up being with such young men who must be saying, I saw this boy's tweet, and he said, yeah, pehli baar zindagi mein Raveena Tandon ke saath selfie le raha hoon. Didn't have the courage to take a selfie with her as well. Did you feel that with this young man?
No, I mean, honestly, if you see the film, it is not exactly portrayed. It's a film about relationships, I mean, this is a compliment that I keep getting most of the time. So
which you're unaware of and you don't want to believe.
So I humbly say thank you to everybody who've all these people who've loved me all over the years and appreciated the kind of work that I've done. And I think I'm here sitting still today is because of this kind of appreciation from people. So I take this opportunity to thank everyone for that. Being honest has always most of the time put me in trouble. But it's too late to change now.
But tell me, do your kids and all watch your films? Do they know? I mean,
well, they've only seen Andaz Apna Apna so far. They haven't seen any of these films or any of my serious cinema yet. They're still too young to. So yeah, the comedies they've seen Dule Raja and they've seen Andaz Apna Apna. That's it.
Kisi disco mein jaye, those steps and all. Yeah, when are we going to see it again, man?
I hope I get. Now I'm looking forward to doing a nice comedy. I've done Matra, which was a different genre. I've done now Shab, which is again in a different space altogether. Now I'm looking forward to a nice Dinchak comedy to do.
So tell me a couple of things. You worked with Salman. One thing about Salman that you'll never forget.
Salman is unforgettable anyway, yeah. I mean, his expressions and the way he talks and the way he cracks jokes and I think his sense of humor.
Amitabh Bachchan.
In front of him, I'm always tongue-tied only and I always goof up. I'll never forget about Bachchan Saab is every time when I come in front of him, I start rambling. And I end up saying the most stupid things and then he looks at me and says, ye ya to weird hai, ya to ye bahut rude hai. So that is what happens with me because I try to say a proper thing but it comes out all wrong. I don't know why that happens. My mind goes into a twist. My tongue goes into a twist. So yeah, it goes...
Shahrukh.
Fun. Complete fun. I mean, he's totally fun to be with. And what a sense of humor he has. He's so witty. He just keep you in splits throughout.
And what about Amir?
Perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection. But
does that also that's what disturb you also in terms of his perfection?
No, you realize that you end up giving your best. So I think that's fantastic.
Kya baat hai. And what about this man, yaar? Ye mera goal you, would you. You can pull his cheeks again.
Yeah, I love that. I haven't put it out on Twitter.
The craziest rumor you've heard about yourself, what is that?
Oh God, don't ask me. We've suffered so much in the 90s for all these weird stories all about us. Nothing for a long time. I think I've been very boring.
But tell me, 90s mein, don't you think the rumors are more crazier now with 150 people coming day in and day out?
Now you have the space and you have the reach to your fans, to the masses, to the people on a one-to-one level because you're there on Twitter, you're there on Insta. You can give out proof, you can click pictures, you can put it out there and say, this is not what I meant or this is not what it was supposed to be. Yes, there will be people who will take it, but then it'll be forgotten also the next day. But the problem is in those days, we didn't have that outreach, right? So what was printed or what the headlines made, is what went around and people believed that crap. And you had nowhere to clarify. Even if the magazine wanted to apologize or clarify, there'll be one little bottom and thin fine print where nobody will even read the clarification. You understand? So that was the thing that we were subjected to in those days. But today, I believe that you have the reach, where you can put your story out. Yes, there is a lot of fake news everywhere. And like you said, there's a lot of trolling. But I again stand by my thing that if you remove politics off the social media is still an amazing place to be on.
On that note, Raveena, you have to promise me, you have to start believing in the fact that बहुत से लोग आपसे प्यार करते हैं, they're crazy about you, you've been the poster girl. Accept him in 2017. Say, I will accept it now.
I accept it and I thank everybody for that love. Seriously.
And please tell Anil how much I hate him. Will you tell him that? Will you just tell him once?
I will speak to him. He's in the US now, but I'll wait for him to wake up and that's the first good news I'll give him.
And next time I see you, you have to look like a schoolboy once again. Okay, love you both. Thank you so much. Bye.